Wow, are the juices
there we go.
ever flowing in the Great White North,
Here
ladies
we
and gentlemen? Your Toronto Blue Jays, my Toronto Blue Jays, our Toronto Blue Jays.
Your second team, Toronto Blue Jays.
It doesn't matter.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Your Fairweather first team. Your Fairweather first team. They are going to the World Series, and I don't even want to waste any time with this, Clarky.
Okay.
Because you've been a very busy guy. Let's have a look at something here. We've got something here. I believe this is game 6.
Last out.
Final out.
He's got it. That's my daughter Amanda laughing.
There's Amanda with you.
Yeah,
you broke it. We did it, nailer. We gotta when we post this, we gotta tag Hayes in that because he'll just love that. It's been a while since he's heard a "we did it" nailer. and by God, Clarky, if you didn't go down there as the good luck charm and hit up Game 7 for a moment that we will be talking about for a very, very long time.
No doubt. We did it!
Oh, absolutely hilarious. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. Unbelievable that
I nearly didn't go to that game too, by the way, because I went to a couple of games, and as you know, I've probably spent a little bit too much money. I went to a game 2 against the Yankees, the Grand Slam day, and the Yesavage day. And then I went to games 2, 6, and 7. And again, the plan the whole time, just so you know, was, and I kind of hate that I'm thinking this, but I was thinking it. Let's get tickets to 2 and 6. I'll get standing room for game 7, and I'll flip them to get some of my money back.
Right.
Game 6 comes, and as they're winning the game, someone whispered to me, "We got to go tomorrow, you know."
Yeah, you knew it about the 5th inning. You were not selling.
So I was not selling the tickets. And
how good is it that you didn't?
Man, the home run, right? The Springer home run. We'll talk about it with Tom as we bring our great guest in, Tom Valcke.
Long-time Major League
expert,
scout.
Our guy with the Blue Jays. Tom, how are you?
As joyful as you guys are for so many different reasons. But and now, for me, I put it into cruise control because I posted something before the playoffs in a few social media places, and my thoughts were simply, if the Blue Jays do not make it to the World Series, this year is a failure. I don't care what. I know anyone can win on a given day, blah blah blah, but I will be hugely disappointed if they do not play in the World Series. And if they get to the World Series, it's house money from there. And if they lose, and I'm the first one, as you guys know from our past conversation, to rip who needs to be ripped. I won't rip them if they lose the World Series. Because from the start of the playoffs, I don't care who they played. And I guess the Dodgers shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But I don't care, because now anyone can win this series. The Jays certainly can, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I'm really good. Sorry, I got to shut my phone off. My bad. I couldn't be happy. I'm going to be rooting for them, screaming, doing all the same things. But it's all gravy now. Good on them. And I think it seems weird to say this is the best thing, but I really think it is. We can flush Game 5 down the toilet.
Yeah, absolutely. I I said to my girlfriend when we watched Jeff Hoffman get that final out, and we're going to talk a lot about a bunch of guys on the team, including Jeff Hoffman's heroics in 6 and 7. But when he got Julio Rodriguez to swing at that last slider, I turned and said to Kate, I'm really happy for Brendan Little, because that guy, look, we'll just quickly say, yes, it was a poor decision to put him in. Schneider put him into a situation that he couldn't possibly succeed in. He's not a relief pitcher that's built for that type of moment. Fine, let's wash that away. The abuse that this man and his family took online, and Clarky, you know this, and Tom, you would know too, I have a humongous problem with this aspect of society where we got people online hiding behind phones, messaging these guys awful stuff. I am so happy for the franchise, for the fans, for us, for everybody celebrating this. I'm extremely happy for Brendan Little, because nobody's ever going to bring up Game 5 ever again, guys.
He would have been the Bill Buckner of this era. And it never would have gone away. And same with Schneider. Like, I have some issues with Schneider, but I'm glad for him. John Schneider is becoming a good coach.
Right.
John Schneider should win the Manager of the Year, in my opinion.
Oh, yes.
For the season.
Yes.
And he's made 2 colossal, excellent decisions in the Seattle series. One being to start the kid Game 2 in Toronto versus, the better pitcher, arguably, Bieber, and put Bieber, who's got, I like that. And that had to be his call at the end of the day. And the other place he shone to me was not once, but twice, Game 3 and 4, when the 8-hitter doubled and up comes Jimenez, the 9-hitter, great bunter, left-handed. And not once, but twice, he did not bunt him to third. I've got a philosophical hard-on against bunting runners from second to third anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You should score anyway.
Should never do it. You can move them over with other things. Take 3 whacks at a base hit. That's my personal theory. But in this case, I thought, here we go. I'm going to be right again because he's going to bunt him. And he didn't. And Jimenez, having that baseball intellect and instinct, wanting just to pull the ball to the runner's left side, because that's what you do as a runner. If it's to my left, I go, my right, I stay. And it's all he's thinking. And of course, just like the home run contest, the guys are trying to hit home runs, but they only hit about 6 of the 10.
Yeah.
When you try to hit a home run, you can't. He wasn't trying to hit a home run. And what happened both times? Home runs. John Schneider, way to go. But when Schneider bombs, as he makes his way into becoming a good coach, he's like, when I got to do number 2 and 7 days go by and it hasn't happened, and then it happens, it is one ugly freaking mess. And that's Schneider. So I can't drop my guard on him. The situation with, you put in Hoffman, you put in Seranthony, you put in Bassett, you put in Gosman, you put in Lauer. In all 5 of those scenarios, Grand Slam, I'm not talking about it tonight. You put in Brendan Little, I'm talking about it the way we would have about Bill Buckner.
Yeah, 100%.
And it seems like he's got away from the computer doing his managing.
And
he did.
That's huge.
What I thought Game 7, like when I saw Seranthony Dominguez come out in the 4th inning, I think, in that game, I'm like, what is he doing? Maybe. He's the setup guy. What are we doing? But he had a plan. Bassett,
he knew. Bassett. How about those 2 dudes going in there?
Gosman and Bassett in the 7th and 8th innings.
Doing something that they
Gosman
don't
walked
do.
3, but they didn't give up. That bullpen didn't give up a hit in the last 4 innings of that game.
No, they were so good. And I mean, on that note, and you talked about this just a couple of minutes ago there, Tom, about, your perception of this team, and we're playing with house money now. Has the way this season has gone and the way that they have let John Schneider evolve and become a better coach and a better manager of men and not data points, have you changed your mind at all about the way you feel about Ross Atkins and Mark Spark? Because we had you on at the end of last season Tom, and it was dark times, and all three of us were right on top of these guys, but we're in the World Series, and I think they kind of deserve their flowers here.
Hey, it's not fair to just say the bad things.
Correct.
I'm still not a big fan of either. However, Atkins' acquisitions of Scherzer and Bieber took a lot of cojones. That they were both very risky pursuits. Suddenly, you get to the playoffs, they work out, which is obviously what they were hoping. Good for Atkins, thinking more than me that it was going to work out, and he deserves a shitload of credit for that. And the other thing that's a negative was what's going to happen to my three amigos. Like, I'm living down here in Georgia. I watch not only every game, I watch every pitch of every game of the Blue Jays. When I work late, I got a PVR and I watch it. Why do I watch from beginning to end? Three new words: Berrios, Bassett, and Gausman. I love watching them pitch. I got to see what, I don't want to turn on in the fifth because I got to see what they did with the guys before that. I'm just that kind of a guy. Yeah. And now you get to the playoffs, and those guys, especially Berrios and Bassett, 2.5 years they come out in the 6th or 7th. They give up 0, 1, or 2. They don't even get a freaking W most of the time. And now there's no reward because you got Bieber and Gausman sliding in. That could have disrupted a lot of things, but that it didn't. Obviously, it didn't. And Bassett, I'm going to tail off for a sec here. When he came to Toronto, I pshawed that guy. I had no use for him. I think bullshit. You got 8 pitches. I don't care if you think you got 8. You don't. And you're calling your own game? Sorry, pal. That's what the catcher does. The catcher watches where the bat went over the last pitch or under it or late or early. He calls the pitch. How does a pitcher, especially with the shot clock on top of him now, analyze a hitter? You've got to get the signal from the catcher. You've got to think about the location, think about your grip, get set, concentrate on the target. You don't have time to be analyzing hitters. Well, wrong again, Tom Valcke. He does it. He's my favorite Blue Jays pitcher now because I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong. And actually, my son Jackson and I had a father-son. We began the father-son stadium tour this past year. It was decided by Paula and Alana and Mia. And they said, you don't spend enough time with Jack. You two have a dad-son weekend. So Jack and I, starting at Christmas, started looking at dates separately, and we thought we'll combine the list. And we happened to have the top 3. We had one the same as each other and then 2 different from the other guy. However, the number 1 for me was also the number 1 for Jax. And we went to Philadelphia. It happened to be Father's Day weekend, not by design. And the Blue Jays were playing there. It was the perfect weekend and the highest of expectations, and they were exceeded. Too bad the Jays lost all 3. But this, again, began my problem with John Schneider. He lulls you like he's getting good. Do you remember game 2 in Philly when Bowden Francis started, had a couple of okay innings? In the 3rd or maybe 4th, he goes, walk, hit batsman, walk. The score is 3-1 for the Phillies. Nobody's out. Schneider leaves him in. And you saw Bowden doing this the first part of the season. Why would Schneider think it's going to be any different in Philadelphia? Get him out of there. You let him pitch to 3 batters. No. He left him in. He walks the next guy. Schneider doesn't take him out. It's 3-2. He plunks the next guy. Then he finally took him out. Like, again, that's so abominable. And the Jays lost the game by a run to Philly that day. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I can't drop my guard on John Schneider yet because he's still becoming a good coach. And I just hope it's not a Alex Anthopoulos where we groom him. We let him make mistakes on the way becoming, in Alex's case, the executive of the year. And then he walks out the door because he saw the stupid way the Jays tried to dump the god of Toronto Blue Jays for all time, Paul Beeston, to treat him like that. And Anthopoulos is watching this, and why would he stick around there if that's the way they give the hi-ho to Paul Beeston? So I hope Schneider doesn't become great and then go somewhere. I hope he becomes great. And he's on the right path.
I think he's locked in. I mean, he's been a part of the organization for 24 years now. I felt really great for him. And I agree. Like, you know, you could certainly make criticisms of some of the things he's done, but let's get on the positivity train and let's talk about a guy. Who is the ALCS MVP, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., now tied with two incredible names, postseason home run leaders. And I just, like, look at that list. Vladdy is cementing himself already at 26 years old as an irrevocable Toronto sports great. I cannot believe the postseason that this guy's put together. I made it a point after Game 6 to write some stats down to try and put into context for people that are casually watching this, how insane that gentleman on the screen is. Vladdy's the third player in Major League postseason history to manage a 1,500 OPS, that's on base plus slugging, in at least 45 plate appearances in a single playoff run. The only other two guys that have ever done that, Carlos Beltran in 2004, some guy named Barry Bonds in 2002. He's the 14th player ever with 6 homers in the first 10 games of a playoff run. He has the highest OPS through the first 10 games of a postseason ever. And he's third. Manny Ramirez, Carlos Beltran, Vladdy. And on top of all that, get a look at this list right here. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. became the 6th player ever to hit at least 6 home runs in the first 10 games of a postseason and strike out fewer than 10 times. As a matter of fact, he struck out 3. The things this gentleman are doing are absolutely psychotic. Tom, you've watched a lot of baseball. You've seen a lot of good players. Can you put into words what this guy is doing?
Well, you know, he just seems to, I don't know, blow the roof off of everything he achieves. And this is not going to be received well, but it's not meant to be negative. He got $500 million this year. And for me to say he's under pressure, anyone, like, even if you resent it and you think the money's stupid and all that stuff, if you got $500 million, you'd feel pressure. This guy's only 26 years old. Of course he's going to have slumps. Any baseball player fails 7 times out of 10 normally. And Vladdy was under 300 this year as batting average. To do this so soon in his first ALCS, oh my God. And at big times. And the thing is, I can't stand the tuxedo, the jacket thing. I never will like that. But, you know, and Vladdy is the guy that puts it on the guy most of the time, which I think is something I really like if they're going to have a jacket. But because he is the guy. He's not sitting there like with candles around him and some fancy Barry Bonds leather chair on the bench. He's into it. He really is genuinely into it. He's still a kid. And, oh, man. So I love his cheerleading. I love the leadership, not with the jacket and stuff, just the way he's in the dugout. He gets down when he's down. Don't all of us at 26. You're not even, you know, halfway there yet. And, Ryan, you really, you know, those stats are stunning. And the personality goes with it. And I'm just really glad we're going to have him for the next, dozen years?
14 years. And Clarky, I want you to jump on this because you've covered this team for a long time. You've been a part of the Toronto sports scene for a very long time.
Easy with that.
Well, no, but I'm trying to credential you properly
fine.
here, sir. Okay,
fine.
I'm pumping your tires.
Yeah. You're really old.
No, and I'm on based on jumping off what Tom said there. I think another big aspect of this is, and you've been a guy that's been very critical of him for the ice bath after the game, the home run antics. I don't mind the ice bath
after the game after a win in the playoffs. I don't like it after a win in May.
My point being, though, that you've been critical of
Tom
him
agrees
sometimes,
with
right?
Yeah,
I understand that.
Because it just become a joke.
My point is, you've been critical of the guy at times and his personality when it comes out. Yeah. However, how cool is it? Like, does it wash away some of that for you? How emotional we saw the guy. This guy cares more than any athlete within the city limits about being successful for a Toronto franchise than any athlete I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm 34 years old. I've never, ever, ever seen a guy care more about Kyle Lowry. Be about the only guy close. I've never seen an athlete care more about being a Toronto athlete than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in my lifetime.
Well, you didn't see Wendell Clark, guys like that, because they care too.
I understand.
I get it.
I just mean combined with the
Vladdy
success.
There's no doubt this guy has shown up when it matters, and that's what you want. And he has been incredible ever since that grand slam against the Yankees. He's just been on fire, and they're walking him. They're hitting him. I mean, Springer gets nailed in the knee. That to me wasn't coincidence, but whatever. I you know what? It's just one of those things where a guy catches fire at the right time, because down the stretch in September, he wasn't doing too well.
He was not
good. We talked about it. He was not good at all. But man, oh man, maybe that's the Yankees, probably was, that just got him going, and he hasn't stopped. And it's been a treat to watch. And the best part about it is he broke the Leafs curse by wearing that Austin Matthews jersey before Game 7. The Leaf curse is also over. They're not playing well right now. I get it. But all you'd have to do is make the playoffs, as we all know.
Pray. I don't know.
So the Leafs, just like in 92, 93, the Leafs will be there this year when it matters. Right, Tom?
Well, they didn't make the final.
And Matthews wore a Guerrero jersey to his hockey game.
He did.
I thought that was very cool.
And then I want to ask Tom something about Game 7. Were you worried at all in Game 7? Like when they were down 3-1?
Worried at all. I was worried all before the first pitch, honestly.
But were you writing them off?
All but written them off by the time the 7th inning got there. I was starting to get very sad. So I guess I would say
I know where this is going. He's going to try and paint this picture that me and our friend Steve Saber.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Okay.
Yep.
Let's look at this during the game.
Yep.
Okay.
3rd inning or 4th inning. It's 3-1. Ryan Drury, ball game. Well, it was a good run, Ryan. It was. Too bad it ends this way. But who saw it coming? They better add to this team in the lineup. So much money coming off the books. And all I said is, and I'm at the game and I'm reading this crap. And I'm like, is it 13-1 or is it 3-1? Have some faith in the team.
Now, hold on.
Goodness.
Just 1 second. I'm sick to my stomach. First of all, this is like you've broken the cardinal rule.
I don't care. Yes, I did. I went to a personal thing and I put it in public. I get it.
This is what the players talk about when they say
you're right.
It in the room.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You are a scumbag for that. I can't stand what you've done. This is disgusting.
Brian, what about what you did to him at the start when that mouth and teeth came at me? That's gonna freaking haunt my dreams tonight. That was.
I didn't know if he could hear me, so I had to get the phone as close as I could to my.
I'm worried about a cavity in your 3rd molar.
So am I.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen. I would like to clarify that I am on the screen next to a gentleman to my right that said in March that this team would be lucky to win 70 games. So
along with a lot of other people, which is fine. But I didn't.
And then on Canada Day weekend, when they swept the Yankees and took over first place and never gave it back, this gentleman also said, well, it's a fluke. The Yankees will pass them by next week, was the quote. So I just want to say that we all get a little upset at times.
I think you're making this up. Where's the proof?
You think I'm making
Where's
it up?
the proof?
See, but I'm not. I'm
totally
not a
making it up.
scumbag.
You're totally making it up.
So
you're making it up.
I want to jump ahead because,
honestly, I did have full faith though. But
yes,
I really did.
Well,
I really thought they are winning this game.
Look at this guy. Look at this beautiful man. When he came up, Kate and I looked at each other and I said, I didn't give up on them. When he came up in the 7th, I looked at Kate and I said, this is the reason they signed George Springer. They signed him for this right now. Not a play in the outfield, not a diving catch, not some rah-rah speech. One swing of the bat. And it took 2 pitches for him to hit arguably the second biggest home run in Blue Jays history. And Tom, I want to ask you that because this has been hotly debated. Where does Springer's home run rank for you in Blue Jays lore? I'd put it second behind only Jumpin' Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I think for what they represent, what Carter's, of course, first, but then you get between Bautista and this one by Springer. But Springer, Game 7, late, hitting it out, puts him into the World Series. As far as importance and impact and everything else, yes, that's got to be 2. So if I have to write a number, I'm putting 2 on that one. But as far as memorable, famous jumping, I was in the iCase baseball facility that I used to own and have a team. All the guys are there watching it. Here's all these 15 to 17-year-old boys. We were literally jumping up and down and hugging each other on the Bautista home. That's a moment I'll never forget. And there's one other home run you'll never see on the screen again. But we talked a lot about Vladdy, and there's other guys we can't let go of, or we have to talk about. But there's something he did, and I started using the expression magic dust. I knew he grew up, of course, Vladdy Sr.'s son and around baseball, so that should be a help. It's not horse racing. There's DNA, gotta be, but there's nurturing and all that. But
of course,
the home run of Vladdy's life that I will never forget was an exhibition game in Montreal against St. Louis. The Big O, the place was jam-packed. Vladdy Sr. was there. Vladdy Jr. comes up with 2-0, bottom of 9, 0-0, and walks it off. The kid has magic dust sprinkled over him. He's meant for the moment. And I know it was an exhibition game, but you guys saw it. Weren't you jumping out of your chairs? That was one of the most fabulous home runs I ever saw in my life. Exhibition game. But that's Vladdy.
It set the stage, and I mean, it set the stage for lending to him being a guy that, despite some of the ups and downs he goes through during a season, hot, really, really hot, really cold, September, like it set the stage for him being a guy that has a flair for the dramatic. Yeah. And like all of the best postseason players that you remember had that, right? Like Canseco had that. His dad had that. Jeter had that. Go down the list of guys. Manny Ramirez, as much as he's derided now. Big Papi had that. Big Papi's got a love fest going with Vladdy Jr., which is a lot of fun to watch. The Yankees lose. It's a lot of fun, man. And like you're right, he's just become this. I mean, I don't care. Like, I honestly don't care what he does for the rest of his career. Like, he's immortalized himself for the rest of his life with what he has done with this team, what Springer's done. And I want to talk about another guy that has immortalized himself as a young player and an even younger guy than Vladdy. And that's this young gentleman right here. Trey Yesavage has walked onto this team, and this is a guy that you're looking at on the screen right now. This is a guy that started his professional career in April in single A in Dunedin. It's absolutely nuts. And now he's pitching in the playoffs. Let me rattle some stats off about this young gentleman. Trey Yesavage's 22 strikeouts are tied for the second most in Major League Baseball history by a rookie in his first 3 career playoff starts. He's also the youngest pitcher this century and the 4th youngest ever to go 5 or more innings pitched in a potential elimination game while allowing no more than 2 runs and striking out at least 7. Tom, when you think about what this young gentleman has accomplished so quickly and in such crucial moments, I don't even have words for this guy. This guy, he said he's built for it. Vladdy's born for it. Clearly he was right, because he has provided some unbelievable. He'll never pay for a drink in Toronto again.
Yeah. Boy, it's been fun to see his story. He doesn't have the lineage of a dad who played Major League and all that stuff. He's just a kid, and he's 22. I really like the decision that at least they had him pitch in Toronto, even though he wouldn't maybe have been number 2 for other reasons. But and I hope they do the same in the World Series. I really do.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to climb another step. He's climbed enough this year and proven himself. So I hope he'll go game 2, and then he can pitch game 6. I hope that Scherzer gets game 4. I'd like to see it all repeat, and then all hands on deck for the last one. But if it goes 7, but what a story! Like, wouldn't you love already, without knowing one thing about the next 7 games? Wouldn't you love to be a guy, because there will be more than one, to write a book about this team?
My God!
How many chapters do you have? Like,
yeah.
Like, and Trey Yesavage is just like, if you wrote a fictional book and put this in, I'd read the book and I go, yeah, give me a break. No way.
Yeah, exactly. Starting an A-ball.
Yeah, it reads like over the top, like overly inspirational Disney story. It reads like Angels in the Outfield or something. It's like, yeah, right. Like, there's no way.
Let me ask Tom, though. Is this early success because teams haven't seen him, or is this guy the real deal?
I think your first point is very, very true. And let's hope the Dodgers, I'm sure they've seen him. I'm sure they got one of those machines. But with that kind of action on the ball, you got to see him. Did you see how many ugly swings Seattle took against him?
It's crazy, man.
Oh, well, the Yankees do. The great hitters and the Yankees guys. So I'm hoping, counting on the Dodgers. And now that doesn't mean he's going to fall away. He's going to be good for a long time. I'm worried about the release point and arm injuries.
How many starts has he had?
He's had 3 postseason starts, 6 total.
So game 2, game 2, and 6.
6. He'd go 6 for sure.
No, but I'm just trying to think of the games he started. Game 2 against the Yankees. Game 2 against the
Mariners. And then game 6 against the Mariners.
So I think I've been at all 3.
Have
starts.
you've been there for all 3 of them? Trey Yesavage.
I think I have. To come to think of it, I haven't seen this.
You're the reason he's doing so well.
Tom, I need tickets for game 2. I've been trying. I don't want to get into Ticketmaster screwing everyone over, but I tried so hard to get game 2 tickets.
You know what, Clarky? Trey Yesavage, if you're watching this, Trey, you should get a tattoo of Clarky's face on your throwing arm.
There's 3
You
tickets.
should get a tattoo of Clarky.
I'll take 2.
I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Scherzer too, and I've got it up on the screen there. Should he get, because there was talk about like, well, do they go to Scherzer again? I'm fully on board. I don't know how you don't turn to a Hall of Fame guy like that put in a performance like he did against Seattle and not let him start in this World Series. He turned the clock. He looked 29 years old in that start, Tom.
Yeah. And if he's in that zone, you put him out there with a short leash. It's that simple.
Right. Especially with the Bassett in the pen or Lauer.
Because I think his first successful games, I wrote something, I think I put it online, that I'm watching his stuff, and even on TV, you can still see sharpness and things like that. And I had written that I felt the other teams, I think he had 3 great starts in a row. And I said, I think the other teams are just reading the name on the back of the uniform, because the stuff that's coming out of his hand doesn't look that dangerous to me. But it's Max Scherzer. It's like the movie, of course, Billy Bean's Moneyball was a great flick and the smartest flick, because it got Brad Pitt. So guys would go and their wives and girlfriends would go because he's got the eye candy of Brad Pitt. So good call in the movie. But in the book, there's a scenario where Billy Bean gets called up at the same time as who's the character on the Phillies in those years, or the real rabble rouser, short guy. Everyone knows him. Come on, guys.
I know exactly.
Why can't I think of his name?
It'll hit. But anyway, the nasty guy is watching them warm up, their pitcher warm up, and he says to Billy Bean, "Who's that stiff?" And Billy Bean looks at him and he says, "Stiff?" He says, "That's Lefty."
Lenny Dykstra?
Lenny Dykstra. Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah.
He says, that's Steve Carlton. And Bean starts rattling off his stats to Dykstra. Dykstra sits there tying his shoes, whatever. He goes, "Are you done?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll rip his fucking ass." And so that game ends with Billy Bean going 0 for 4, which Billy Bean, who said it was, Billy Bean was a 5-tool stud, but he described being in the batter's box, not at 5 o'clock when he hit bombs, but in a game, he said there might as well be prison bars around me. I thought that was a great metaphor, or whatever those things are called. And Dykstra goes 2 for 4 with 2 doubles off of him. So there you go. He just didn't care about Steve Carlton's numbers. And I felt that might have got Scherzer through a couple of the early ones. And then people just started saying to each other, "Hey, just look what's coming out of the hand. Forget who he is." Mm-hmm. But boy, did you see the control he had? Well, you know what? I mean, when I teach kids,
I saw the control he had over John Schneider.
That was a moment. Oh my God.
I loved it, dude. Mad Max at his best.
When I teach kids when they begin pitching at, I guess it's Pee Wee now, whatever it was then. Mm-hmm. But I would always go to Ashton Tire in St. Mary's. They got the big pile of tires in the back. Grab about 10, put them on the fence about 15 feet apart, have a bucket of 45 balls. And because every kid has to pitch now because of pitch counts, I tell them when the team is picked, by the way, I didn't ask you this, but you're all pitchers. And I had them throw the tires. And yes, the hole in the tire against the fence is probably really, even on a tiny kid, below the knee to the ankle. That's probably that hole. But the first key to pitching to me is keeping the ball down. Keep it down. If you make a mistake and they hit it, it's going to be a ground ball. If you make a mistake up here, it could go to the park. And it's so fundamental. And I'm watching Scherzer, and I'm going back to the tires against the fence. He kept that ball down every freaking pitch. It was a masterclass in pitching. And boy, so I think he definitely deserves game 4.
I completely agree. And let's be honest here. He is a guy, I think Max Scherzer throws one of the best wipeout sliders of all time. I mean, the way that he can, the break and the sharp down to left that he gets on that slider, which is so gross against righties in particular, and then lefties, he can put it when he throws pitches, when he pitched to Raleigh in, I believe, the first inning of that start, when he throws that slider in on a lefty, that thing starts in the middle of the plate and ends up near your ankle bone. And Cal Raleigh was like, whoa, the 41-year-old guys, he came to play today. They couldn't do anything with it. And Scherzer has always found success when he gets that slider sharply dropping, and he was doing it, man. The guy, he turned the clock back. It was a lot of fun. Tom, I want to finish by asking you this, because this is a big debate right now. And that debate is surrounding Bo Bichette. I want to know what your thoughts are if he can play. where would you put him? Would you put him right back on the field? I don't know that I would do that. What are your thoughts on Bichette?
Well, that's a tremendous question. I think because Schneider's done this all year, although I thought Davis Schneider got shorted a bit in the Seattle series.
Same.
Because if you're being consistent and that's your thing, we play everybody here. Be ready. You're going to get in the game. Don't change that in the playoffs. That's really setting him up for. And I watched Davis very closely. And I'm not saying Davis, should have been starting every game or anything, but he earned his way there. And I watched him. And to his credit, you would never see it on his face. He was always hustling, cheering for the guys. Told me a lot about what he's about. But to Bo, I think credit to Schneider because it worked. Every move is good when it works, but it worked all season. Where if they called a guy from AAA, I don't remember one situation where that guy didn't play his first game in Toronto or with the Jays, didn't play that night. A lot of coaches will bring him up, wait a game or two, game 3, let's get it. But that was his thing, and it worked out pretty darn well. The only place it really didn't work out, but very predictably didn't, was Santander. He's known to be a slow starter every season of his life. He didn't have the September was his spring training more or less, and that was a lot to put on him, batting him fourth. And so I'm going to land kind of in between on your question, Ryan, because I don't know that. I think you put Bichette at shortstop because you want him to feel at home, and he's most home there. But I don't think I'm going to flip. If I had to decide tonight on tomorrow's lineup, subject to change, because it's arguable. Boy, that's a good question. I might put him down about 7th. Just to let's not pretend you're there yet. You can earn your way up there by game 5, 6 if you got it, but we're not going to hurt our chances to win because you're just you can take BP all you want. You can use that machine all you want. But as we mentioned about Yesavage, that's going to be a bit what Bichette's going to see real pitchers, real freaking good starters. That's LA's biggest strength. They're starting pitching. My God.
Yeah.
And so, I would put him down in the order, but he's starting game 1 for me. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Well,
I think if you're going to put him in, you can't take George out of DH.
No, you can't. You have to play him.
You can't put George back in the field. So if you're putting Bichette in there, I agree exactly what you said, Tom. Maybe put him underneath Varsho, 6, 7-ish, maybe even behind Clement if you feel good about that. And I think, unfortunately, the guy that comes out, and it's going to be tough because, everybody on this team is contributing. They are as tight a team as you see, and everyone contributes. As hard as it is to say, I think IKF comes out.
Of course he does. It's an easy one to me. It's like there's no one else.
But it's not as easy because of what
we
he's
still got
done.
We still got to place.
Jimenez goes over to second.
Jimenez goes. But what about Ernie? And what about my predicted MVP of the World Series before it started? I picked Barger.
So I think that
one of those guys has to go. Or on the
IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa comes out.
So Kiner-Falefa comes out.
It's got to happen. And then Jimenez moves to second and Bo plays short.
Goes to second. It's got to be the way.
But he's got to be ready to play.
Short. Yeah, he's got to be ready to play. Bo goes to short.
The field, he's got to be ready to play.
Yes, Bo goes to short. Jimenez goes to second. Ernie goes to third. And then you put Barger in right field.
Nothing changes there in my mind.
He
played right field yesterday.
Because Barger's played third a little bit too, right? Like they pop him all over the place. That's honestly what I would do.
The question is, who doesn't make the roster?
Right.
Loperfido. Loperfido's the guy you take out.
Yeah, he
right?
hasn't seen the light of day anyway.
So John Schneider has to look Bo Bichette in the eye, and he has to look back at him, and he has to say, are you 100%? You can run and field a ground ball and throw someone out at first, because if you can't, we are in a lot of trouble. And you got to tell me right now, because if it's the case where he's still limping around and he comes up lame and whatever, fine. Okay, you throw IKF back in. You got to just start him as a pinch hitter on the bench then. He has to tell John Schneider with 100% certainty and honesty, I am healthy. I can field ground balls and throw a guy out for us, or else you're in a lot of trouble. So, yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Tom, this is so fun.
Hold on, before we go.
Hold on.
Yeah, before you go.
I got more too. I want to throw something up because I just saw this come across, and it's the viewership for the ALCS. It's incredible how many people watch this series, Seattle, Toronto, at least Game 7. I was sort of shocked at it, but most streamed championship series ever. The game peaked at 12 million in the U.S., up 32% from last year's ALCS Game 7. Do you think it's a Canada-U.S. thing, Tom?
I think with the politics and, the booing of the U.S. anthem in hockey games and that getting down here, like it was talked about in Georgia, and they don't talk hockey normally, Georgia was a swing state, but this past election, Georgia was very, very high on Trump. But yet they were talking about it. So I think it's there, but I think it goes back to something we spoke about earlier, Paul Beeston. When the Expos left, he Canadianized this team. And I love the beginning of the show. I love that players are saying, I'm playing for a country. Rogers couldn't be happier that people are saying that because they're the monopoly. I'm George Costanza to George Steinbrenner as far as Tom Valcke and Rogers. By the way, the other guy to take out of the lineup card, you mentioned Elo Porfido but take out Lauer then, because why would you take the pitcher who arguably brought you to the playoffs?
I don't know.
Never had a bad outing, and use him for one inning when the game was 8 runs apart?
I don't understand it.
What did he do wrong, Lauer?
I think we will see him probably quickly in the World Series, especially if the Jays are up by a good chunk in one of the first couple of games. Eric Lauer will get his flowers from John Schneider. John Schneider knows how important that guy is. I know what you're saying. We will see Eric Lauer feature in this World Series. I
hope it's in a big moment. I would have gladly seen him in Game 5 instead of Brandon Little.
Brendan Little. Yeah, I think everybody would have.
Yeah. And that's not hindsight. Sure. That's everyone who went off.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't hindsight.
Tom, as soon as he brought him in, it was first sight. I said, what is going on?
People were getting
like
nervous.
Fluharty had been pitching great.
Remember the success he had against the Dodgers in that series this summer. He saved that last game for the Jays. So he'll be a factor too. It's going to be unbelievable.
I told you guys my choice for MVP. I'm going Barger pulls a Pat Borders and breaks
love
out.
It. Love that. Love that.
Who's your MVP?
Wow.
And you can choose an
MVP.
You can choose a
Go ahead, Drury.
Should we pick one for both teams? I got an idea then for both teams. Toronto, obviously, because they're going to win. I'm going to be lazy here. Like Vlad. It's Vlad. How much bigger a moment can you get than World Series and against this team with a guy that shunned the team and used them for leverage to get more money from the other guys in Shohei? He's on a plane to Toronto now, isn't he, everybody? So I think Vlad is going to go up against him and say, no, I'm the King Daddy Topper here. If the Dodgers were to win, I just think, you know what? I'm going to throw a guy out there that I just think has been so good for them that's a little underrated behind all the Hollywood names. I love that Andy Pages. I think Andy Pages could come up with some really big hits for them, but it won't matter because Vlad is going to lead this team to a World Series and win MVP. Clarky?
Well, I could do what Drury does and just pick the automatic, superstar on the team to be the MVP.
He deserves to be automatic.
Yes, that's fine. So I'm going to go off the board because it's always more fun when you go off the board and your guy actually wins it, like Tom did with Barger. I'm going to go with the guy next to him.
Board.
I'm going to go with the guy next to him, Dalton Varsho.
Oh,
I like that.
Dalton
I like that.
Varsho is going to have a Pat Borders type World Series, and he'll win the MVP. And on the LA Dodgers side, I'll pick the Canadian boy, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman. You know what? I like that, Clarky, because he's a lefty power bat and could really get after some of these heavy righties for the Dodgers. I like that pick.
There you
go. I like
go.
that a lot.
I hope just when you said, my last point, I promise.
No problem.
When you said about Shohei being on the plane and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Vladdy's biggest mistake in his career, on or off the field, was that game when he walked off the field. He got the walk-off hit, and he's in the microphone. He's going, "This is my house. This is my house." I loved every word of that sentence except one, my. Why couldn't he say, "This is our house"? You get the same effect, but your whole team is there. I think that was a real slip by him. And if it happens this time that Shohei comes in and Vladdy wants to prove it's his house and wins the MVP, I hope he'll say, "This is our house this time." That's what
I think he will. I think he's really turned into a huge leader and a team guy that everybody rallies around. It's been an amazing journey. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. We need to get a prediction here.
Well, what else do you want me to predict? The lotto numbers?
No,
fine.
Who's winning in how many games?
Well, I think we're all on the Blue Jays.
We got to get Tom's prediction.
We're all on the Blue Jays, Tom.
Well, hold on. Games? Let's see what Tom has to say.
Is this our brains talking or our hearts talking?
You talk
whatever you want.
I like to be right. Yeah.
He's picking the Dodgers, Jerry. I can tell.
No, I'm picking the Jays. I'm just trying to think of the number of games.
Okay.
Jays in 6.
Jays in 6. You read my mind. Jays in 6.
Jays in 7.
6.
Go in the distance.
I love it. Come on, boys.
There we go. Let's go.
Unbelievable, Tom.
It's been a long time since
you
one of my
here.
You guys are the best. I love this. I love doing this with you guys.
Not only is it great to have you on here, it's great to have you on here with a very different vibe than the last time we had you on the show. Right. We're going to the World Series. Enjoy every pitch, brother. We know you're going to watch every second. So are we. It's going to be an incredible journey. It already has been. Thanks so much for doing this, Tom.
Get the Rolodex out for me. I'm hoping you can pull some strings here.
I will let you know. I will.
Thank you.
All right.
Maybe a viewer will let you know. You never know these.
You never know.
You never know.
We got to get this show up on the
DMs are open. All right, Tom. Man. Thanks so much, brother.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
See you, buddy.
There is Tom Valcke, longtime Major League scout, instructor, coach. He's done everything.
You're doing soccer stuff and everything too, but we didn't have to talk about that. So.
No, who cares about soccer right now? Come on. It's
always one of our favorites.
Man, Tom, talk about people that love the game. That dude loves the game. And he's been around the game for a long time, scouting and just, doing one of the hardest jobs out there, baseball scouting.
I always find it fun. Like we met Tom. He came up to to Krabby Joe's in Listowel to meet us one day. But I met his daughter there down in California.
Mia,
it was such a fun story because
representing
I didn't know how
Canada.
to say their last name. I didn't know if it was Valk or Valky or what. So I saw someone with a Valk jersey on sitting below me when Sabby and I were in somewhere in California.
You were in California calling the under 20
women's softball
world championships. Yes.
Yeah, Mia was playing. And I went down. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ask them since that's what I should do. How do you say their last name? And they or something along the fact that Tom was in Japan listening to it and said they're saying their name wrong. They're saying Valky. It's Valk. Anyway, there you go.
How about that? Shout out Mia.
2018, maybe. I think.
Yep, 17 or 18 anyway. Pretty incredible stuff. Good friend of the show. And Mia, great athlete, one of the fixtures on Team Canada's women's softball team. She's an incredible baseball player too. We've had her on the show. We'll probably have to get her on again at some point. She's
a
sharp baseball mind.
We promised Mia it's too late now, but we promised her that she was going to be our baseball expert in the Valk family, but
And she still can be.
She can be.
She still can be. Right. Okay. She's busy being a high level athlete. Okay. Right. We can't bother these high level athletes. I want your opinion quickly on this, Clarky.
Yeah,
a lot of
only
people
have a couple minutes left.
This
so
right
let's
now.
Go.
Have the Dodgers ruined baseball?
Like how?
Everybody's saying.
How?
Well, by spending more money than everybody.
Who had a better record? Who has home field advantage?
Yeah,
whatever. Let's see how it plays out. I think it's ridiculous that people say that. Let's just see how this all plays out. It
bothers me incessantly because you look at the guys that they have on their team. Mookie Betts traded in one of the worst trades of all time in pro sports history. I think we can firmly say that now.
Yeah.
From the Boston Red Sox. So the Red Sox don't have money,
and then they turn him into a shortstop. That's incredible.
They turned him into whatever they want. He plays field. He plays short. He plays second. It's outrageous. Freddie Freeman, the Braves all of a sudden ran out of money. Now, when he left, they paid Matt Olson.
It's okay.
But they
Let's not worry about the money. How many?
No, I know.
The Yankees had a lot of guys who made a lot of money too. Dodgers ruining baseball. Give me a break. Like I saw.
I know.
What's his name? Davey.
Tyler Glass. Tyler Glass now
the other day, but whatever.
Dave Roberts. Well, because people are talking about it online. Oh, the Dodgers are ruining baseball because they just spend more than everybody. Excuse me. Half the guys on their roster were on other teams that just wouldn't pay them.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Rays couldn't pay Blake Snell. The San Diego Padres couldn't pay Blake Snell after he won his second Cy Young. Let's calm down here with the Dodgers. How about some of these other sad sack losers that are worth billions of dollars? Pay some people. I swear to God. And I'm not even going to say if. When Paul Skeens is an LA Dodger, I don't want to hear this. I think that when Paul Skeens signs with the Dodgers, or God forbid is traded there, that Pirates fans should burn down PNC Park.
Well, let's not encourage burning anything down.
No, we're not going to do it, but let's get a wrecking ball in there and let's hire a demolition crew and let's email the owner. I can't remember that idiot's name. And let's email him. I'm sorry, but this operation is no longer feasible. We are taking the park down because you do not want to invest in this. I'm sorry. I can't get on this train. Oh, the Dodgers ruin baseball. Why? Because they give guys money that none of these other sad sacks want to give? Can't do it. Can't do it. And it won't matter anyway because the Jays are going to win in 6. Clarky thinks 7. Either way, what an unbelievable run we've been on. This has been so fantastic. I love it.
Clarky, it's so cool to have my team winning. I don't remember what this is like.
What an experience. Well, hold on now. Don't disrespect our boatmen.
That's
right?
Fine.
Okay, Mike Hogan's watching.
Okay.
Well, I understand. Major sports. Very different level. A level that maybe another team in Toronto should pay attention to.
Game 7, Springer home run. We played it early in the game, in the show. Probably my most memorable moment at a sporting event.
Absolutely, brother.
Ever.
I was so happy you were there, and I watched it. And when I got that video from you, I was in happy tears. I was so happy for you to be there. I genuinely. Could you feel your feet quickly? Could you even feel your feet?
I was literally jumping. So we got standing room. We were at standing room. So Amanda and I, my daughter and I, we got there at 6:00. We had to stand 2 hours without moving to not lose our spot. And when that home run hit, I felt like I had just woken up and was like so full of energy, and I was jumping. Everyone was jumping everywhere. I love it. It was absolutely incredible.
Springer dinger for the ages. More to come. Let's go Blue Jays. You can find the show on all your favorite podcast apps, airing in the Georgian Bay region Friday nights before Owen Sound Attack Hockey, in the London region as well, and many others. You can find us on YouTube, of course. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. Thank you to our friend Tom Valcke. Go Blue Jays. Let's finish this thing off. Let's go.